Ah, yes, the Holy Roman Empire, the clouded jewel of Europe. It lasted 1,000 years under the guidance and sometimes ruinous gaze of many dozens of emperors. We often hear the mention of how the Holy Roman Empire was neither an empire or holy or Roman, but these statements are nothing but silly French propaganda from the likes of that roguish scoundrel Voltaire. The Holy Roman Empire, first of all, was holy. It was started by the Pope with the crowning of Charlemagne. If something is started directly or with the blessing of the Pope, it does indeed lay claim to the title holy. The second was Roman. Now the empire did indeed pledge its spiritual allegiance to the Pope in Rome. So you can call it Roman because it's Roman Catholic. But the final was, of course, an empire. And the empire did indeed control many territories that were not located in modern-day Germany. They owned parts of modern Italy, Belgium, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Poland, and especially Austria. The sheer size of the empire was monstrous, although this would later end up being one of the main issues with it. Foreshadowing. Because of the difficulty of ruling an empire from that size from the throne in the medieval era, the different rulers of the states were left to determine things up by themselves most of the time, and became more and more independent as time went on. In this series of videos, we'll be exploring the many states of the Holy Roman Empire. Today, we'll be starting with one of the most important states in the entire empire, the Habsburg monarchy. The Habsburg monarchy was composed of the ancestral lands of the Habsburg dynasty. The Habsburg dynasty originated, like many great things, in the 10th century. In 1279, the dynasty established itself as the rulers of Austria in 1279, and then went on, became the family that most emperors would come from. The Habsburgs married into so many important families that they would soon find themselves marrying their own cousins. This resulted in the famous Habsburg chin of Charles V and others. The Habsburg monarchy contained territories as diverse as western Bavaria, Austria, Hungary, northern Italy, and many others. The monarchy was a participant in many wars, including the famous incident during the War of the Holy League in 1683, when it was besieged by the Ottoman Empire. In fact, the entire history of Austria is full of incidents against invaders from the east. Another important event in the history of Austria is the 30 Years' War of 1618 to 1648, especially in the early phase of the war, the Bohemian Revolt. Austria and the Spanish formed the Habsburg-controlled bloc in the 30 Years' War against the Protestant collection of states headed by the Kingdom of Bohemia and Sweden, and for a short time Denmark, and all other Protestant states, as well as Spain's long-running conflict with the 7 United Netherlands, the 80 Years' War. The Habsburgs are the preeminent noble house in Europe, owning lands in Italy, Spain, the Holy Roman Empire, Hungary, and many others. The monarchy's history continued long after the dissolution of the Holy Roman Empire, first with the declaration of the Austrian Empire in 1804 by Francis II, as a response to Napoleon's 1804 coronation as the Emperor of France, and later in 1867 with the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Tune in to exploring the Holy Roman Empire next week for either Bavaria or Saxony, whichever one I feel like doing next.